Starting a farm sounds exciting, right? At least it was for me. Fresh soil, growing trees, the hope of a thriving harvest. But here's the harsh reality: most small farms fail financially. Not because of laziness or lack of effort, but because of mistakes that are completely avoidable. And not because I made many of them myself. I thought hard work alone will guarantee profit, and I woke up very early each day. If you've been here long enough, you know that to be a fact. I literally live in this small farm, pruning, fertilizing, but I had a moment of reflection recently and I realized that it's been years and this little farm hardly brings in any income. On the contrary, it keeps eating into my finances. In this video, I want to share the biggest mistakes that I've seen in my experience, and I hope that you can learn from my mistakes and avoid them so you don't waste months or even years of effort. Hi, this is Lynn Farmstead. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I do not take you for granted and I hope you subscribe and watch till the end. When I started my apple farm, I was full of confidence. Actually, it was just passion. I had always envisioned having an orchard, and while I was searching for the right fruit to commercialize, there was a lot of hype online about apple farming. My initial contact with apple farming was from the story of Muya. He's from Eldoret. He's an elderly man who has a small farm, and I resonated with him because I also do have a small farm, and actually the number 100 trees, I got it from him because he had mentioned that in his quarter of an acre he had 100 apple trees that were fetching him quite and handsome income, and I felt like this is it. So the video I watched, I don't know whether I can get it, maybe link it down below in the description box, was saying that farming that quarter of an acre of apples will fetch you income equal to farming over 10 acres of maize. And I was like, of course, 10 acres of maize will take a lot of capital, it will take a lot of effort. And the apple farming picture that was painted felt like it was easy money because you just plant once, put your manure, fertilize often, and in 1 year you start smiling all the way to the bank. I believed that following common advice was enough. So I invested in fertilizers, especially manure, and purchasing the trees, which was quite the capital. It was quite capital intensive acquiring the seedlings themselves. But rather than that, I felt like I was all set. And the trees actually started growing quite well. So retrospectively, I don't even know how I got here. The first problem appeared immediately. I had planted a large number of apple trees without proper calculation of real cost per tree. Besides the cost of acquiring the tree, of course, there's also the cost of getting the tree to your farm, labor to take care of the trees until they come of age, and it all added up quite fast without me even noticing because I didn't even keep track of the costs. And now this is a mistake that I'll rather small farmers starting out right now will avoid. If you can, track the numbers so that you know if you're even doing something tangible or you're just wasting time. The other day I posted a short on the video shorts, and one comment was quite interesting and it had me thinking. So the comment read that I was trying to hand pollinate because of course, you know, about my pollination frustrations. So the comment read that this is the perfect example of wasted energy, wasted effort, and wasted time. And actually, it's true, because if I had done everything right, that's something that nature should be taking care of. So it was a mistake on my part, and I hope that new farmers starting right now can learn from me. The reason I'm making this video actually is because a lot of people do reach out to me on my inbox and in my personal line, and they actually seek for this kind of information because they're interested. So we'll have new farmers over and over again. And I hope you, if you're a new farmer out there, you want to get into fruit farming, I hope you get to see this video before you make the mistakes that I also made without knowing, of course. Another mistake, I relied entirely on one crop, apples, and nothing else. Because of course you remember the calculations, they're very glamorous and they look like so easy to achieve. So I thought the rest of the fruits I'll just do one or two for home consumption while I commercialized the apples. Looking back, I wish I could have done an intercrop of maybe 2 or 3 commercial varieties, so that I reduced the chances of facing what I'm facing currently. I thought if the apple yield succeeded, everything will be fine. But what happens if some trees fail, like the case I'm experiencing right now, or if there's a pest outbreak, or suddenly income drops to zero? I don't have a backup plan. Maybe right now I have started to bring in citrus family, because the few trees that I already have at the farm are doing really well. So I'm trying to intercrop so that at least we have some income flow from this farm. Of course, farming for fun is good, but of course we also do want the activities in the farm to like feed themselves at the bare minimum. You need labor, you need fertilizers, you need pesticide control, you need fungicides, and you can't be going back into your pocket year after year if the thing you're doing is not even making financial sense. Then came my reactionary habits. Every time a problem appeared, say a tree was not flowering, I rushed to apply more chemicals, more labor, more effort. But without data or observation, I sometimes made things even worse. It was expensive, stressful, and ultimately counterproductive. For example, I really do feel like most of the flowers I had, I shouldn't have interfered with them, because it was a rainy season. I was desperately trying to ensure that they pollinate. Like artificial insemination. And maybe the stigma was not as receptive as I thought it was, because it was very humid and wet most of the time. But deep down, I was anxious to get a heavy crop, because I was seeing lots of flowers, and probably, I will never know, but probably if I didn't interfere with them, some of them would have pollinated themselves naturally, I guess. But of course, the pollination problem is intense in my farm. It doesn't even go back to that single activity. But I do feel like I am putting a lot of counterproductive effort into the trees, and I should leave them be for now. From all this, I learned a critical principle: strategy and planning beats effort alone. Farming is not just about tending trees, it's about understanding cash flow, revenue streams, and risk management. A simple calculation could have saved me thousands. For example, if one tree costs $50 to maintain, or 1,000 to maintain per year, and produces apples that sell for only $30, I'm losing money per tree. A simple calculation could have saved me thousands. For example, if I had tracked my expenses, I should know how much I'm losing per tree per year by now. Yet, without proper tracking, I continue planting and caring for these trees, thinking I'm building wealth when maybe it's even counterproductive. Diversification is key. So relying on single crop is extremely diversification here is key. So relying on a single crop is extremely risky. For small farmers, you need multiple income streams in your farm for it to be sustainable, whether it's seedlings or germs or consulting or whatever it is that you want to monetize from the beginning. Even a small additional income per month can drastically change the farm's financial stability. So here's how I will advise new farmers to avoid these costly mistakes. First, plan with numbers in mind. So calculate the real cost of each tree, not just the acquisition cost. Include the fertilizers, the labor, the water, and the time you spend taking care of the trees, and make sure the potential revenue exceeds these costs before planting. Diversify early. Don't rely on just a single crop. Consider complementary crops or products that can generate immediate income while waiting for your trees to mature. Third, implement small scale testing. Try a few trees, especially if you're trying, like myself, a temperate tree that people in my neighborhood have never tried. Try with a few trees first, track results, and scale gradually depending on the results that you get instead of committing all resources at once. Also, track and adjust everything. Keep a log of all expenses, yields, and market prices. This is data that will help you to make smarter decisions and identify which areas are more profitable so that you can double down on them. And also leverage observing and learning along the way. There's a lot to learn and learn and relearn. Don't overreact to minor problems. Observe patterns: which trees bloom fast, which ones bloom later, which soils retain water, which techniques give the highest yield. And patience and data-driven decisions are more profitable than panic fixes. Learn from my mistakes. Looking back, these mistakes were expensive but also valuable lessons. Without realizing, I had been operating like many new farmers, always working hard but earning very little from this farm venture because I ignored strategy, cash flow, and risk management. I'm glad that I shared my story online because then I've had a lot of valuable lessons that I think if I were to do this alone, by now I'll still be overly frustrated. I still am, but at least I know the kind of direction I want to take, and it's all because of the valuable lessons that we've acquired here in this little community. You need profit first thinking. Every action should be measured not by effort but by potential return. By avoiding these mistakes early, I hope you will save thousands in wasted resources and years of stress. If you want, I'll share what I am doing differently in my farm this round to generate profit faster and avoid all the mistakes I just mentioned. Don't want to miss it. So stay subscribed and see you in the next one.